Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most explosive night in wrestling, MWL, Friday Night Clash.
Let's get into rankings and injuries for last month. It looks like a few wrestlers are on the shelf for the time being. There also seems to be a few returning this month.
And now, fans, it's time for the latest MWL rankings update for April 2025. These rankings reflect the incredible talent and fierce competition in the league. Let's dive right into it. Coming in at rank 1, we have the MWL Rogue Champion, the one and only Mr. Jones, a dominant force in the league, holding on to that title with everything he's got. At rank 2, it's the reigning MWL Frost Trios Champion, the fearless Eleanor Owens. She's been making waves and showing the world why she's one of the best in the business, leading her team to victory. In rank 3, we have the Dragon, a powerhouse and a true contender for any championship, with a legacy built on relentless hard work and skill. Next up at rank 4, it's Death Storm from DOA, an absolute monster in the ring and someone who is always a threat to anyone who steps in his path. And rounding out the top 5, at rank 5, we have Todoroshi, the MWL Mist Tag Champion. His teamwork with Harper has taken the Mist Tag division by storm, and he's proving himself to be one of the top stars in MWL. What a lineup. The competition is fierce, and as we can see, these top 5 are all bringing their A-game. The path to the top is only going to get harder from here. No doubt about it, John. The MWL rankings are stacked, and with the way these superstars are performing...
Here is our MVP for last week. What an amazing talent.
And here we have our match of the week. These stars put together an amazing match and deserve this. Congratulations as you have the match of the week.
Let's kick things off with a bang, because Friday Night Clash starts right now. The camera opens in the MWL locker room where Mr. Miolhr is standing, his expression stern as he looks directly into the camera. A shadowy atmosphere surrounds him as the intense buildup to the upcoming match begins. You two think you've made your mark? Think you've shown the world something by attacking LDR and wreaking havoc in the MWL? Well, Tag and Todd, you're about to find out just how badly you've messed up. The screen flashes with clips from last month's brutal attack on LDR, the spray-painted symbol left behind, followed by the loud boos from the MWL crowd as Tag and Todd celebrate their chaos. You've made your statement, but this isn't about the chaos anymore. It's not just about settling the score with you two. No. It's about sending a message. The camera shifts to show Mr. Miolhr training, shadowboxing, and preparing for the match, all while the sound of the crowd's anticipation builds in the background. If you beat me and my partner, if you can somehow manage to get past us, I guarantee you a future match with Harper and Todoroshi, the MWL Tag Team Champions. The camera cuts to Harper and Todoroshi celebrating their Tag Team Championship win, raising the belts high in the air while the crowd chants their names. The contrast between the two teams is clear. Harper and Todoroshi exude confidence, while Tag and Todd's aggression remains uncontested. But remember, it's not just a match for the titles. It's a match for your future. If you fail, you'll not only lose your shot at gold, but you'll cement your place as the biggest mistake you ever made. And trust me, I'll make sure you never recover from it. The camera shifts back to Tag and Todd, looking cocky, their smiles full of arrogance. They are shown in their training facility, preparing for the match as they speak directly to the camera. You hear that, Miolhr? You're guaranteeing us a shot at the Tag Team Championships? Well, you should have known that we don't need guarantees. We make our own destiny. You think Harper and Todoroshi can stop us? After we're done with you and your partner, those titles are as good as ours. The camera cuts back to Mr. Miolhr, standing in front of a wall full of MWL memorabilia, his eyes locking into the camera as his message becomes even more serious. If you somehow manage to pull off the impossible, if you beat me and my partner, I'll give you your shot at Harper and Todoroshi. But make no mistake, Tag and Todd, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. You've made it personal, and now I'm bringing the fight. This match will determine not just pride, but the future of the MWL Tag Team Division. Will Tag and Todd seize their moment and prove they belong? Or will Mr. Miolhr and his partner put an end to their destructive path? The camera opens on Mrs. Elizabeth, the MWL general manager, standing in the center of the ring. The crowd cheers as she raises the microphone, her expression confident but with a hint of determination. Good evening, MWL fans. Welcome to another exciting edition of Friday Night Clash. I know you're all as ready as I am for another action-packed night, so let's dive right in. The crowd cheers as the camera zooms in on her. Now, before we get started, I want to address Uprising last month. We know that things didn't go exactly as planned. Surprises, some twists, and some unexpected outcomes. But let me tell you, we learn from every single moment, and we continue to move forward stronger than ever. That's why tonight we're kicking off something huge. I'm thrilled to announce that the road to Miolhr Mania begins tonight with the MWL 16-man Rumble. The crowd erupts in excitement, knowing what's coming next. This is going to be an intense battle, folks. 16 of our top superstars will compete for the chance to either challenge for the MWL Championship or the MWL World Blazing Championship at Miolhr Mania. The stakes could not be higher, and it all begins tonight. She walks across the ring, pacing slightly as the crowd waits for her next words. Tonight, 4 superstars will begin this epic journey. The first 4 participants will step into the ring and battle it out. But this is just the beginning. Each week, we'll see more competitors enter the Rumble, building to the explosive climax at Miolhr Mania. The camera zooms in as she stops, looking directly into the lens. I know some of you are wondering who will take the chance at the MWL Championship or the World Blazing Championship. And honestly, I can't wait to see who steps up to the plate. But remember, folks, this is not just about who wins, it's about how they win and who they have to defeat to get there. This is a battle royal, and it will take everything to survive. She pauses and looks at the audience, the anticipation building. So, without further ado, let's get started. I'm excited to see who will rise to the occasion and claim their shot at glory. Tonight marks the beginning of what will undoubtedly be one of the most intense and unforgettable journeys in MWL history. The camera pulls back slightly as Mrs. Elizabeth raises her hand, signaling the start of something big. Let the MWL 16-man Rumble begin. Let's make history together. Thank you, and enjoy the show. The crowd erupts in cheers as Mrs. Elizabeth exits the ring, her presence commanding the arena. The lights flash, and the anticipation for the first match of the Rumble begins as the camera cuts to the ring. Tonight marks the beginning of the 16-man Rumble, where everything is on the line. Who will survive and make it to Miolhr Mania to challenge for the championship? Stay tuned. Mike, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this exciting match here at Friday Night Clash. Tonight, we have a Rogue Match Rumble qualifier, and the stakes couldn't be higher. These 3 superstars are fighting for a spot in the MWL 16-man Rumble at Miolhr Mania. That's right, Mike. It's a chance to get one step closer to competing for either the MWL Championship or the MWL World Blazing Championship. Divine John Davis, Henry, and Jack Owens, each with something to prove in this high-stakes match. Match begins. The bell rings, and immediately all 3 competitors lock eyes. Divine John Davis, known for his power and size, immediately looks to assert dominance. He charges at Henry, sending him into the corner with a huge shoulder tackle. Jack Owens, who is quicker than both, takes advantage of the distraction, charging at Divine John Davis with a drop kick to his back. Divine Davis stumbles but quickly turns around, only to be met by a quick super kick from Jack Owens. Mike, Jack Owens is showing off that speed and agility early. That super kick to Divine John Davis was perfectly timed. As Divine John Davis stumbles back, Henry comes charging in with a clothesline, knocking Davis down to the mat. Jack Owens then runs the ropes, looking to springboard off and land a moonsault onto both men, but Divine John Davis quickly rolls out of the way, causing Jack Owens to crash hard to the mat. John, a big miss by Jack Owens. Divine John Davis just avoided disaster. Divine John Davis gets back up, but Henry is right behind him, locking in a side headlock to try and wear the big man down. But Davis powers out with a huge back suplex, sending Henry crashing to the mat. What a suplex from Divine John Davis! The power advantage is clearly on his side, and he's using it to his advantage. As Henry tries to recover, Jack Owens, not one to back down, gets up quickly and attempts a running DDT on Divine John Davis, but Davis pushes him off into the ropes. Owens rebounds and delivers a sling blade, sending Davis to the mat once again. Jack Owens is moving like a freight train. He's not giving up. Henry, now back on his feet, charges at Jack Owens, hitting him with a spine buster that echoes throughout the arena. Henry follows it up with a quick pin attempt on Owens. No, Owens kicks out. Mike, that was close. Henry is trying to steal one here, but Jack Owens isn't going down that easily. Divine John Davis, still reeling from the sling blade, finally gets to his feet and grabs Henry by the throat, lifting him up for a choke slam. But Henry counters midair, sliding behind Davis and hitting him with a neck breaker. Incredible counter by Henry. He is really showing off his experience tonight. All three men are now on their feet, and the action is fast-paced. Divine John Davis, clearly getting frustrated, charges at both competitors, but is met with simultaneous drop kicks from Jack Owens and Henry, sending him crashing into the corner. Mike, double drop kicks. Divine John Davis is in trouble now. Owens grabs Henry and attempts to hit him with a fisherman suplex, but Henry reverses it into a backslide pin. No, Owens escapes. The action is non-stop. These three are leaving everything they've got in the ring tonight. Divine John Davis gets back to his feet and rushes towards Owens, but Owens ducks and nails him with another super kick. Davis stumbles and crashes to the mat, leaving Owens and Henry to face off in the center of the ring. Mike, what a super kick! Divine John Davis is down, and now it's just Henry and Jack Owens battling it out. Henry attempts a powerbomb, but Owens reverses it into a Hurricane Rana, sending Henry across the ring. Owens quickly climbs to the top rope, measuring his opponent, and leaps for a diving crossbody. Jack Owens is going high risk. This could be it. As Owens flies through the air, Henry catches him mid-flight, spinning him into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. He covers Owens. No, Owens kicks out. Mike, Henry showing off some impressive strength. Owens is proving tough to put away tonight. Divine John Davis slowly gets to his feet again, and as Henry turns to face him, Davis grabs him by the neck once more, this time delivering a huge chokeslam to Henry. No, Owens breaks the pin. Jack Owens just saved the match. He's not done yet, folks. All three men are exhausted, but none of them are backing down. Divine John Davis grabs Jack Owens and lifts him for the Divine Impact, a devastating powerbomb, but Owens counters with a swinging DT. Mike, what a counter. Jack Owens is pulling out all the stops. Owens quickly climbs to the top rope again, this time going for his signature 450 splash, and nails it perfectly on Davis. He covers. Match ends, Winner Owens. Mike. And there you have it. Jack Owens is your winner, securing his spot in the MWL 16-man Rumble. What an incredible performance. Absolutely, Mike. All three competitors gave it their all. But in the end, Jack Owens came out on top. He's earned his shot, and now we'll see what he can do when the stakes are at their highest. Mike, the road to Miolhr Mania just got a lot more exciting, folks. Don't go anywhere, because we've got much more action coming your way tonight. The camera opens backstage at the MWL Uprising event. Mason Page, the reigning MWL champion, is walking through the hallway, clearly focused on something. He approaches a locker room door with a determined look on his face. He knocks once, and the door creaks open. Standing inside with an almost smug smile, walking in, not wasting time. Sarah, we need to talk. Well, if it isn't the MWL champion himself. What's on your mind, Mason? His voice low and serious. You've been making waves, haven't you? You said you wanted a shot at my MWL championship. I'm here to set the record straight. I'm not just handing out title matches. Laughs, stepping forward confident. Oh, Mason, you misunderstand me. I never said I wanted your championship. Mason raises an eyebrow. clearly confused. Then what exactly do you mean, Sarah? You've been running your mouth about wanting a match for the championship. What else could you be talking about? With a leaning against the wall. You're so quick to think the world revolves around you, aren't you? What I meant was that I want a match for Eleanor Owens' MWL Frost Trio's championship. Whoa, she and her team have been walking around like they're untouchable. That's about to change. Mason's face softened slightly, realizing the misunderstanding. Mason relieved, but still suspicious. So, let me get this straight. You don't want my championship? You want Eleanor's? And you plan on going after the Frost Trio's championship instead? Exactly. You see, I don't need to chase after your gold. I've got my sights set on something that actually matters. Eleanor and her team, well, they've had their run, but at the Rumble, that all changes. I'm stepping in with my own team to take those titles. So, you're not going for the gold, you're going for glory. You think you can take down Eleanor Owens, huh? Straightening up, her tone turning cold. Not only will I take her down, but I'll take everything she holds dear. The Frost Trio's championship will be mine. And then, once that's done, maybe we can talk about me and you fighting for something you really care about. But for now, let's just say I've got bigger fish to fry. Mason chuckles, shaking his head, impressed by her audacity. Leaning in slightly. You've got guts, I'll give you that. But don't underestimate Eleanor Owens or anyone on her team. And don't forget, I'll be watching that match very closely. Don't worry, Mason, you'll get your front row seat. But for now, let's just say you don't have to worry about me taking your championship anytime soon. Sarah Davis smirks and walks past Mason, leaving him with a confident grin on his face, but there's a hint of respect for her game. Mason watches her leave, a slight chuckle escaping his lips. Mason Page. To himself, still smiling. She thinks she's got it all figured out, but I've been in this business long enough to know that things don't always go as planned. Mike, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another incredible match here at Friday Night Clash. Tonight, we have a Rogue Match Rumble qualifier featuring 3 of the most competitive and resilient athletes in MWL. It's Ella, the Destroyer, and Harper, all vying for a spot in the MWL 16-man Rumble. John, the stakes are high, Mike. A chance to compete for the MWL Championship or MWL World Blazing Championship at Miolhr Mania is on the line tonight. And these 3, they're all dangerous in their own right. This is going to be a brawl. Match begins. The bell rings, and immediately, all 3 competitors lock eyes. Ella, with her high-flying style, immediately tries to use her speed to gain an advantage. But the Destroyer steps forward, looking to intimidate the smaller competitors with his brute strength. Mike, look at the size of the Destroyer. He's trying to assert dominance early, but Ella and Harper aren't backing down. Harper doesn't waste any time and charges at the Destroyer, hitting him with a super kick to the jaw, momentarily staggering him. Ella, not to be outdone, runs the ropes and delivers a drop kick to the Destroyer's knee, taking him down to 1 knee. John, Ella and Harper are working together for now, targeting the big man. But it looks like it won't be long before this becomes every man or woman for themselves. Harper grabs Ella, setting her up for a suplex, but Ella shifts her weight midair and lands behind Harper. She hits Harper with a spinning back fist, stunning her for a moment. Mike, great counter by Ella. She's showing off her striking ability tonight. The Destroyer, still reeling from the earlier double team, gets back up, angry. He charges forward, shoulder-checking both Ella and Harper, sending them both flying across the ring. The Destroyer just plowed through both competitors. That's the power advantage right there. The Destroyer stalks Harper, grabbing her by the throat and lifting her for a chokeslam. But Ella charges in with a Hurricane Rana that sends the Destroyer crashing to the mat. Mike, unbelievable. Ella showing off that speed again with a huge Hurricane Rana, saving Harper in the process. Harper rolls out of the way as Ella goes for the cover on the Destroyer. But the big man powers out at the 2 count. Ella quickly tries to lock in a guillotine choke on the destroyer. But he uses his strength to lift her off her feet and slam her back first into the mat. Ella almost had it there with the guillotine, but the destroyer just threw her off with raw power. Meanwhile, Harper, now fully recovered, looks to capitalize on the situation and delivers a running bulldog to Ella, sending her crashing into the mat. Harper quickly goes for the pin. No! Ella kicks out! Mike, close! Ella barely gets the shoulder up, but Harper isn't backing down. The destroyer, back on his feet, charges at Harper and connects with a devastating clothesline from hell, knocking her down hard. He looks down at both competitors, his eyes burning with intensity. The destroyer is setting the pace now. He's controlling this match, and it's clear he wants that spot in the Rumble. Hart, however, isn't out just yet. She dodges a charging destroyer and runs up the ropes, hitting him with a springboard crossbody. The destroyer stumbles, but he remains on his feet. Ella quickly takes advantage and delivers a drop kick to his knee, sending him down to one knee. Mike? Harper and Ella working in sync, trying to keep the destroyer grounded. Ella attempts a quick roll-up on the destroyer, but he powers out of it easily. As the destroyer gets to his feet, Harper nails him with a super kick right to the chin. What a super kick by Harper! She's trying to take down the big man. As the destroyer stumbles, Ella springs into action, delivering a flying knee to his face. He collapses to the mat, and Ella covers him. No, the destroyer kicks out. Mike, another near fall. The destroyer just keeps powering out of these pin attempts. Harper climbs to the top rope, looking for her signature 450 splash. She leaps off, but the destroyer moves at the last second and Harper crashes onto the mat hard. John. Big risk, big miss. Harper went for it all, but the destroyer moved just in time. Ella, seeing her opening, rushes in and hits the destroyer with a stiff kick to the side of the head, staggering him. She follows up with a quick neckbreaker, then immediately goes for a cover. No, the destroyer kicks out. Ella has been relentless, but the destroyer is proving just how tough he is. As all three competitors slowly rise, Ella and Harper exchange a brief glance, knowing it's time to put everything on the line. They both charge at the destroyer, hitting him with a double super kick. The destroyer stumbles and falls through the ropes to the outside. What a combination! The destroyer has been sent to the outside, and now it's a one-on-one battle between Harper and Ella. Harper and Ella exchange strikes in the center of the ring. Ella lands a couple of quick jabs, but Harper counters with a spinning heel kick, knocking Ella to the ground. Harper quickly climbs to the top rope again, aiming for another 450 splash. This time, she hits it perfectly. Mike, 450 splash! Harper connects! This could be it! Harp covers Ella for the pin. And Mike? And there you have it. Harper has secured the victory, earning her spot in the MWL 16-man Rumble at Miolhr. What a match. John, what an incredible effort by all three competitors. But in the end, Harper's resilience and agility were just too much for Ella and the Destroyer tonight.
Announcer, it looks like it is time for our main event.
MWL Friday Night Clash, Rogue Match Rumble Qualifier. Rank 10, Josh Hart with Kimberly Hart versus Rank 1, Mr. Jones with D-Money versus Deathstorm. Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to witness one of the most intense matches of the night here at Friday Night Clash. Here at Friday Night Clash, it's a Rogue Match Rumble Qualifier, and these three competitors are battling it out for a chance to enter the MWL 16-man Rumble at Miolhr. That's right, Mike. The stakes are high in this one. Josh Hart, coming off a great run, faces Mr. Jones, the ever-dominant force and the unpredictable monster Deathstorm. All three of these men have something to prove tonight. Match begins. The bell rings, and all three competitors quickly size each other up. Josh Hart and Mr. Jones lock eyes, while Deathstorm stands back, surveying the situation, ready to strike at any moment. Mike, you can feel the tension in the air, John. We've got a unique dynamic here. Josh Hart, quick and agile. Mr. Jones, a powerhouse and the former champion, and Deathstorm, the wild card who can't be predicted. Josh Hart charges at Mr. Jones, but the champion sidesteps him with ease, sending Hart crashing into the ropes. As Hart rebounds, Mr. Jones catches him with a powerful clothesline that nearly turns him inside out. John, what a clothesline from Mr. Jones. He's showing just why he's ranked so high here in MWL. Deathstorm, not one to be left out, runs at Mr. Jones and nails him with a running shoulder block, knocking him down to the mat. Deathstorm turns his attention to Josh Hart, lifting him up for a suplex, but Hart wriggles free and lands on his feet behind him. Mike, what a sequence. Deathstorm has been dominating, but Josh Hart's agility has allowed him to avoid some of those big power moves. Josh Hart, seeing an opening, runs the ropes and connects with a drop kick to Deathstorm's knee, sending the big man down to one knee. Hart goes for a quick cover. No! Deathstorm kicks out. Josh Hart trying to take advantage of the big man being down, but it's going to take more than that to keep Deathstorm down. Meanwhile, Mr. Jones, recovering from the earlier shoulder block, sneaks up behind Josh Hart and delivers a backbreaker to him, bending him over his knee. Mike, Mr. Jones is relentless. That backbreaker took a lot out of Josh Hart. Mr. Jones turns his attention to Deathstorm, who is back on his feet. The two giants exchange heavy punches in the center of the ring, neither backing down. Deathstorm rakes Mr. Jones's eyes, causing him to stagger back. John, that's a dirty move by Deathstorm, but it's smart. Mr. Jones has been getting the better of him in the physical exchanges, and now he's trying to regain control. Josh Hart, recovering, rushes in with a running knee to Deathstorm's face, staggering him. As Deathstorm stumbles, Hart goes to the top rope, setting up for a moonsault. He leaps, but Deathstorm catches him midair and delivers a scoop slam, sending Hart crashing to the mat. Mike, incredible strength from Deathstorm. Josh Hart went for high risk, but the monster caught him like a ragdoll. Mr. Jones, taking advantage of the situation, lifts Deathstorm for a powerbomb, but Deathstorm powers out, lifting Mr. Jones into the air and tossing him across the ring with a belly-to-belly suplex. John, what a display of power. Deathstorm is making a statement tonight. As Deathstorm moves toward Josh Hart, the crowd's energy builds, but Mr. Jones, back on his feet, surprises everyone by running at Deathstorm and delivering a spinebuster. What a spinebuster from Mr. Jones. He's not out of this match yet. Josh Hart, recovering again, rushes to Mr. Jones and hits him with a super kick to the side of the head. Mr. Jones stumbles but stays on his feet, and Josh Hart follows up with a running bulldog to the mat. John, Hart is on fire. Every time it looks like he's down, he finds a way to come back into the match. Mr. Jones, now down, rolls out of the ring to catch his breath. Meanwhile, Josh Hart and Deathstorm face off again. Deathstorm charges at Josh Hart, but Hart sidesteps and hits him with a dropkick to the back, sending Deathstorm into the corner. Mike, Josh Hart is showing why he's earned this spot, but Deathstorm is a force to be reckoned with. Deathstorm, furious, charges out of the corner and hits a massive running big boot to Josh Hart, knocking him down to the mat hard. Deathstorm covers. No, Hart kicks out. That was close. Josh Hart almost got knocked out by that huge boot. As Deathstorm starts arguing with the referee about the count, Mr. Jones returns to the ring and sees his opportunity. He grabs Deathstorm and delivers a clothesline from hell, sending the big man crashing down. Mike, what a clothesline from Mr. Jones. He's got the momentum now. Mr. Jones turns his attention to Josh Hart, lifting him up for the Divine Impact powerbomb. Hart struggles but is powerbombed hard into the mat. Mr. Jones goes for the cover. No, Deathstorm pulls the referee out of the ring. John, what is Deathstorm doing? He's just saved Josh Hart from being pinned. Deathstorm and Mr. Jones begin to argue, and the referee tries to restore order. Meanwhile, Josh Hart, still reeling from the powerbomb, slowly rises and sees both men distracted. He charges at Mr. Jones with a running knee, knocking the champion to the mat once again. Mike, what a knee from Josh Hart. This match has completely turned around. Josh Hart, sensing the moment, lifts Mr. Jones and sets him up for a German suplex. But Deathstorm enters the ring and attacks Hart from behind with a vicious forearm smash to the back of the head. John, no. Deathstorm is ruining this moment for Josh Hart. Deathstorm lifts Josh Hart into the air, looking for a powerbomb, but Mr. Jones grabs Deathstorm and hits him with a DDT, sending both men down. Josh Hart, still stunned, manages to grab Mr. Jones and roll him up. Winner, Josh Hart. And that's it. Josh Hart pulls off the win and earns his spot in the MWL 16-man Rumble. The camera cuts to the ring after Josh Hart has won the match and is celebrating with Kimberly Hart. The crowd is still buzzing from the action, and the arena is filled with energy. Suddenly, the mood shifts as Deathstorm's music hits. The massive figure steps into the ring with a furious look on his face. Mr. Jones is still recovering from the match, having been knocked down by the German suplex from Josh Hart. This match is over. This could get ugly, Mike. Deathstorm is not one to leave well enough alone, and it looks like he has a bone to pick with Mr. Jones. Deathstorm steps toward Mr. Jones, who is slowly getting up, clearly disoriented from the earlier action. The crowd goes silent as they realize what's about to happen. This doesn't look good for the Rogue Champion. Without warning, Deathstorm grabs Mr. Jones by the throat and lifts him off his feet, slamming him back down with a chokeslam. Brutal chokeslam from Deathstorm. What is this all about? Deathstorm stands over Mr. Jones, breathing heavily, glaring down at him. He grabs a microphone from ringside. Yelling into the mic, "Listen up, you piece of garbage. You think you've got it all figured out as Rogue Champion? You think you're untouchable? You've been getting in my way for far too long. I'm done waiting." He crouches down to look Mr. Jones in the eye. Deathstorm. Here's the deal, Jones. You've got that title, but you don't deserve it. I'm demanding a match for the MWL Rogue Championship. You think you've got what it takes to keep it? Prove it. But I guarantee you, I'll be walking out with that gold. He drops the mic on Mr. Jones, who is now struggling to get up, his face a mixture of anger and disbelief. This is insane, John. Deathstorm just laid down the challenge for the MWL Rogue Championship, and after that assault, I don't think Mr. Jones is in any shape to accept. This could be the beginning of a huge rivalry, Mike. Deathstorm is demanding what he believes he deserves, and now we have to wonder, will Mr. Jones accept this challenge? The camera cuts to Deathstorm, standing tall in the middle of the ring, his eyes burning with fury as the crowd continues to boo him. He glares at the MWL Rogue Championship around Mr. Jones's waist as the scene fades to black.